Man, what a way to start out the new season. Now, granted, I have been watching ReZero and I dabbled into the returning Attack on Titan. But as for shows that are actually new to the winter 2021 season, Wonder Egg Priority is the first show that I've actually, sat down and watched. And I'm not disappointed. Now, granted, when we were doing the previews, I was already on top of this show because one, Heterochromia, and two, the previews looked beautiful. It's an original. Cloverworks has been doing a lot of fantastic work lately. Everything was just kind of lining up for me, going, yeah, this is going to be the gem of the season. I mean, I don't necessarily see this not being a gem, but at the same time, I've been let down before. Now, the other thing that was kind of fascinating about this particular series when I was looking into it was that the actual person that is doing the writing for it, the creator, is a screenwriter that has done dramas and movies, not necessarily anime. And his name is Shinji Nojima. And so I don't really have a reference to him, how good he does his work or whatever. I'd assume that he's doing a good job because he's had quite a lot of stuff under his belt. There's also the fear of, okay, that doesn't always translate to anime well, but there's nothing to say it can't work. Also, the director is Shin Wakabayashi, who they've done work on the shorts for 22/7, which I have not seen yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about. I enjoyed 22/7, so I'm sure I'll enjoy that. But a lot of people were saying that its directing was pretty much like a film. On top of that, they've done a lot of writing for or directing for episodes of Aka 13, Attack on Titan, and Working, which are all series that have done critically well. So it's got everything lined up for it. What I wasn't expecting was the fact that the show. I texted my brother immediately after watching it, and I'm like, "This is like this feels like Madoka Magica," and you'll understand when you watch it, but it has that feeling of like, here's innocent children, and here's a possible way of resolving their issues, but there's things that cost. Like you can be injured by this essentially. To give you a rough idea, I've only watched the first two episodes, so I'm not going to spoil things, severely. But if you want to go in there completely blank, please do so. It essentially opens up with this girl named Ai, and Ai is essentially a NEET. She just doesn't go out, or she does. It doesn't imply that she doesn't do her schoolwork, but she is not going to school. As you find out within the first two episodes, she was being bullied, and more tragically, she had a new member of the school come in, and that new person, which her name is Koito. Koito, when she arrived at the school, she wanted to befriend Ai, and in doing so, she became bullied and she committed suicide. And this seems to be, at least from the first two episodes that I've seen, a common thread for the storytelling that it's going to be doing. A lot of the two characters that we've seen so far have already been confirmed. Well, technically three so far have been confirmed that are characters that have, or students that have committed suicide, or so it seems. And I mean, that tragedy alone is already making it very heartbreaking to watch the show. But add into it the fact that Ai is kind of secluding herself due to this, and then finding a purpose, something that she can redeem herself by doing a certain task. And this task is she's confronted by I think at the very beginning it was a cicada or something, that let her know that she can go to this location, get an egg. She gets the egg, and then in like some kind of dream, she's told to break it. She breaks it, and a girl comes out from it. And in rescuing this girl, she gets herself apparently closer to being able to restore her lost friend. Now, again, being that I'm already getting kind of those sensations of Madoka Magica, this Aka person that told her this, which is like a mannequin, this Aka person could be our Cube. Are secretly, you're not really working to help these girls out, are you? There's probably something you're looking for in this process, and you're using girls who are kind of stuck in tragedy to get something done. The interesting kind of tie-in that they also kind of mention, again, if it's true and he's not lying to I, is that each one of these girls that are being released from these eggs that they crack seem to be tied in with other people as a tragedy. And so at some point they said, well, that person was probably in somebody else's dream, which assumes that that person was somebody else's loved one that died in a tragic way. So yeah, she essentially goes to this location, buys an egg from this little gachapon machine. She breaks the egg. It goes into her dream where the egg hatches a tragic, kid, and she has to save that kid from the thing that drove them to their demise. Which the first case, it was like some bully kid. In the second episode, it was a coach for a gymnast. And in destroying those, that person's released. And so it seems like it's going to be turning into this cycle of get egg, crack it, save the person from the thing that bullied them, then they're released. Now, the other kind of interesting thing that goes with it is that in the dream, the person they're saving can be killed because it's in the dream. But the dreamer, which in this case is I, cannot be killed in the world. But the injuries she sustains in the dream seem to carry over into reality. So in the first dream, she is cut in the arm or stabbed in the side, and when she awakens, she gets a bloody nose, and it looks like the wound appears in her side, and then she goes to the hospital. But I don't remember them actually necessarily saying that she had a knife wound, or if that it's affecting her mentally and she got a bloody nose from it. So I'm curious to see if that actually translates over. In the second episode, they show the other girl, not I, the other girl that's getting these eggs, who's trying to save her sister. They show her in the hospital. Like she's grabbing a ton of eggs and trying to do a bunch at the same time. And she ends up in the hospital pretty messed up. So, again, I'm not sure if it's physically making all the wounds appear or if it's just hurting them mentally or something and they have to go to the hospital. So I'm assuming it's physically because I don't know if they'd be in the hospital for everything. But yeah, like I said, it's giving Madoka vibes just because it feels like what they're doing is not going to be completely, I guess, 100% what Akka's telling them. Like, you're going to be able to save your sister, you're going to be able to save your friend if you keep cracking these eggs and saving the people that are inside them. So I'll be interested to see that. Other than that, the directing, the visuals, everything looks beautiful. I mean, they're using CGI for, like, pan shots for running down different hallways. They're using a little bit of CGI for the monsters that are chasing them. But everything else is beautifully drawn. It just, the colors pop. Ai looks beautiful. Neru looks beautiful. All the characters look beautiful. The character designs, the animation for them is beautiful. They are definitely going out of their way to make this show look really gorgeous, and I hope that they keep it up going forward. It does get a little bit of magical girlish, though, which, again, kind of leads into the idea of it being pretty Madoka-inspired. I mean, with Ai herself, whenever she goes to these worlds, she carries a multicolored pin, and she turns that into like almost like a keyblade, like out of Kingdom Hearts, like this huge wand that has like almost like a key impression at the end of it. I'm not sure what Neru would end up using, and so when they fight these incarnations of the bullies, they have to use these kind of magical weapons and defeat them. So it's in her dream, so she's able to kind of conjure what she wants in some sense. So, but yeah, it looks beautiful. The music in certain parts doesn't really feel like it fits, but it was very rare that it happened. There was like a couple of little segments where I'm like, this music's kind of not fitting the situation, but that's fine. But other than that, I mean, everything else was solid for it. So I'm way excited for it. I cannot wait for more of it. Directing, everything's on point for it. It's an exciting show for the new season. So definitely check it out if that sounds interesting to you. And I hope you guys enjoy this first impression. And y'all take care.